What's up, everybody? Xraypc here, and we're playing Arknights Endfield. It's finally out, and I wanted to make a guide about, after playing Endless Hours, who I think is like great characters to kind of start with. Characters that aren't even like 6-star or anything, I guess, other than one character. But yeah, let's start with the first character that I think is like a great character to start the game with and to invest into. The main character, to be honest. Doesn't really matter if you pick guy or girl, they're the same element, the same skills, everything. They are insanely solid skills. They have Crush. So Crush is an insanely strong variant of the physical damage debuffs. There's Crush, there's like Lift. I think she has one example here, Lift.
Still waiting for something.
There's Breach is the other one, and then there's another one, Knockdown. Knockdown, Lift, they're just CC. They're still strong, but I don't think they're as like crazy as something like Crush. Crush is where you'll consume the hit and then you'll do massive damage. The other one, Breach, is you'll consume the hit and they take more physical damage. And it's depending on how many stacks, usually, that it'll end up doing more. So if the enemies are any vulnerable, consume all vulnerability stacks and deal massive damage. And from what I know, I'm pretty sure it's based on each vulnerability stack, it'll end up doing more damage. Hitting a vulnerable enemy with Crush or Breach will consume the vulnerability stack. So I'm assuming that it's going to be like, it is like, hey, if they're vulnerable, consume each stack, making it do more damage per stack. Until proven otherwise. I try to test it. It seems from when I tested, it's like that. Building him is easy. I mean, like he's strength and agility, so it's not really like a bad way to go about him. Obviously, you would go with the main attribute, then the secondary attribute. That's usually how the order you would do it. So yeah, usually just agility heavy with some strength. It's a little bit easier than some other characters where like this character's like insanely heavy agility. This character's insanely heavy on strength. This character is insanely heavy on intellect, but she still has a secondary. So he's a really easy build. He's the main character. The dupes are things I'm pretty sure you have main mission, so you just max dupe them from playing the story. I don't know. So like that one's question mark. So anything with a question mark is probably, yeah, that's the dupes are in the game yet. So well, it seems like we have the first one and then we have the second one. And so you have like here, when the administrators gains the attack buff, other allied operators also gain half of that attack buff. And then this one is, the first one you'll get is improved, a constructive sequence improved, consuming originium crystals returns 50 SP. So you could start spamming skills more often. When you see things like that, you gotta start reading like constructive sequence. So that's that one. Or you have these, which are like your talent. So you get from your, I'm pretty sure your ability matrix. And they're like extra passes on top of that, where like a lot of your power comes from. So enemies with attached Originium crystals suffer physical damage taken increase. When the Originium crystals attached to the enemy are consumed, the administrator gains an attack buff for 15 seconds. And I'm pretty sure that is the attack buff that it's talking about. Yeah. So you need this talent. When they get that talent, you get that dupe. They work well together. Let's move on to the next character. I think is a solid character for you to start the game with. Is this one? Parlika is a 5-star. 5-star that you get right at the start of the game. She's the other like free main character. A lot of teams rely on like elemental combos. So like it's not like Genshin where it's like, or like other ones where it's a forced thing where it's like electric plus nature is this every time, or fire plus ice is this every time. Nope, it's just you apply whatever debuff, and then your finale debuff that you apply or element that you apply will then proc that. So if they, let's say you use a fire character and you apply this, right? You apply their heat skill, and then you go to her and you apply this, you get electrification every time. So if that's what you're relying on, then you always have a primer, and then you always have like, so you have her as a primer and then her to finish it off. You could do like these two together, so that you have two people that you, to get the electrification from the primer. You could go like 2 and 2, so you go like her plus another electric character, and then you go like a fire character, and then maybe you could go like nature. So yeah, you just anything like that. But this character is like the most solid electric based character. She's like a DPS and a pseudo support at the same time. Definitely more on the DPS side of things though. Damage dealt to staggered enemies increased, which is really easy to stagger with this character. Combo skill, instant protocol chain improved when hitting a vulnerable enemy. The hit chains one more time. How are they vulnerable? When you play the physical character who plays vulnerable like your main character. This character as well.
Awesome, right?
So
Originium.
anytime you do something like this, so like here, applies vulnerability to enemy.
Right?
Then if they're already vulnerable, does the lift move. So yeah.
Originium.
Everybody who's a physical that applies a physical type of debuff will apply vulnerable. So she could be used with any of them. There's a 6-star that applies breach, and then there's the I think 5-star that applies knockdown. She's a 5 or 6-star that applies knockdown. So there's any of those, and then future characters, things like this will be really good. Her dupes are really good as well, and then since you already get her at the start of the game, it's easier to get her dupes. Let's see. So I already have this one. Combo skill, instant protocol. So combo skill is your E. When you're like doing things, you have to hit E, or I guess whatever on-screen thing for mobile. Electrification duration increased by 75%. So that helps you set up a lot more stuff. There's a lot of characters kind of rely on like if they're electrified and things like that. Like here, after Perlica applies electrification to the enemy, she gains a 20% attack buff for 5 seconds, and this effect can stack. There's a lot of things in this game that can stack. So anytime you see a character that has something that can make it stack, it's really good. Combo skill, instant protocol chain, improved duration of the arch damage taken debuff on the enemy applied by the skill's electrification is increased to 1.33 times the original. So this is where she ends up doing a lot more damage. I wish I got this far, to be honest, but hey. And then ultimate increase crit rate by 30%, and then over here pretty much every character has this where they have a ultimate energy cost reduction. So but yeah, I think Perlica is like another amazing character you could use like right at the start. And then another character that I would say is Antal. I think Antal, like there's a lot of teams, like let's say if you use Pride Win and you go to the team tier list thingy, I don't think any of this is like truly as accurate as it can be yet, but you could just use this with a grain of salt. I think Antal, like Antal is here, Antal's here, Antal's on Wolfguard's FB DPS team. You could use Antal. Physical teams is not as much unless they require to be like maybe somebody on there needs to be electrified, but usually yeah, you're using like the main character or using like the panda as your main DPS. You could use Chen as your like she applies like lift and all those other things. Or if you don't want to use Chen, I think you can also use like the say you use panda. I'd say instead of use Chen, you use the main character here, and then you could do this, and then you just use like a Prognochick guy. I think Li Fang is also really good. But yeah. But as you can see, like Antal is really good, especially when you get these talents. So gain 30% chance of physical damage immunity and restores HP to yourself, so you can keep yourself alive. After an amp teammate skills deals damage, Antal restores the said teammate's HP by 72+% of his strength. This HP restoring effect triggers one time every 30 seconds for every single operator. And then Amp applies a temporary electric amp. So amps are deals more electric damage. The number represents a degree of increase. Effects of the same type can stack. And then you have heat amp, which is the same thing. It just makes you do more heat damage. So usually that's why he's better on heat and electric teams. His combo is when an enemy with active focus suffers a physical status or a arts infliction. So it's both. So whether it's lift, knockdown, crushed, or breached, and whether they get hit by heat infliction, electric infliction, cryo infliction, or nature infliction, it would trigger one energy explosion on the enemy that deals electric damage and applies another stack of the same physical status or arts infliction. So he's really good on like teams that want to apply a lot of debuffs, teams that want to let's say like you put breached on the target, it will breach stack twice, and I'm pretty sure it would double up. Everything pretty much stacks unless said otherwise. Like unless it literally says does not stack, usually it stacks. And usually there'll be like a stack limit if there is. It will literally say stack limit. So if it doesn't say stack limit, just assume it either refreshes the duration or stacks, or both. Oh yeah, and then this one is his normal battle skill. So combo skills, every time it has to have a certain thing to happen. So it says when an enemy with active focus suffers a physical status or art infliction, you could pop your E. Your ultimate is obviously your ultimate. You have build energy and you can pop it. But your normal battle skill is the one you could spam as long as you have SP. And with the long duration enemy deals electric damage, an enemy with an active focus also suffers an electric susceptibility and heat susceptibility. Focus can only be applied to one enemy at a given time. And I'm pretty sure focus just like after like attacking them and or like using your skill on them the first time, it applies focus. Oh yeah, it applies focus the long duration. So you apply focus and then you apply focus again. So like you do this and do it again, or you do this and then you could like, oh here you go. So you would pop this and then hopefully that's still active and then you can pop this. Right. So his dupes as well. Like he's a 4-star, so he's easy as heck to max out. But like ultimate overclock improvement, improved electric amp and heat amp effects are increased to 1.1 times what the original was. And then ultimate energy really early on, which is kind of like, I'd rather have that over here, to be honest. I like having the better ones over here. Earlier, when the enemy with an active focus debuff is defeated, restore SP to your guy. He gets tankier with this and gets a little bit more intellect. And then applying focus on the same target for 20 seconds increases their electric susceptibility and heat susceptibility effects by 4%. So they end up taking more damage. Because he's a 4-star, he's really easy to max out. It makes it a lot easier to get that stuff done. All right, so we're gonna move on to the other character, and we're only gonna have one more character after this that I think is like a solid start character. So this character right here, and it's the other one's a 5-star. This one's a 4-star, so it's another easy one to get. I think I put $11 into the game. I bought no, actually $10 because no, I bought the $10 battle pass, and then I bought the a $2 pack, and then I bought another $2 pack, but that $2 pack I had currency left over that from my epic thing, so I ended up getting that for free. But pretty much in a sense, I spent like, let's say $14-ish, and none of that was really to do a pool. I think I did one 10 pool finally, with the free currency plus the crystals that I got from buying the packs. So pretty much from 3 free multis and then on the other banner 2 free multis, I ended up maxing every single 4-star in the game. And yeah, so honestly, all of them are really good to start off with, but this one and Antal I think are the strongest. You can throw on any team. She is another like support, like damage buffer, SP increaser. Your ulti, channeling state fires 3 rallying flames, each recovering SP. So when you pop that, make sure you're at like 1 SP left, like 1 thing of like skill left. Pop your ult, pop a skill. This gives you SP back, pop a skill again, SP back, pop a skill again, and then you could like kind of go crazy with that. Your skill 1 is a heat infliction, so it helps you set up more. And then your flash and dash combo trigger when an enemy becomes staggered or hits a staggered node, performs a returning dash with 2 thrust sequences, with each sequence dealing physical damage and recovering SP. So she just gives like a ton of SP back. And I don't have these yet, but combo skill flash and dash, which is this one. Improved for every 10 points of intellect, SP recovery increases up to a maximum of 50%. Doesn't tell me how much it gives me, but ultimate squad on me, improved when the ultimate is active, gains a link. Next battle skill or ultimate cast by the team consumes the link buff and deals more damage with battle skills, getting a higher increase. Effects of the same type can stack, but with diminishing returns. So there's like that I said right there, diminishing returns. So like certain things will say the stack, certain things will say diminishing returns, certain things will like say like there's duration to this, some are like permanent. So it's like it would tell you usually, and if it doesn't tell you, just assume that it could stack. We go here. Sit down, Zoe. Sorry. After recovering SP with skills, she gains 10% attack for 10 seconds. So this can reach 5 stacks. So, and then I'm pretty sure the duration just recovers. So it will just go like, you recover SP or skills, you'll get 10% and then do it again. It's 20%, goes back to 10, 30, 40, 50, up to 50. Then you got agility and intellect here. So it's, you usually want to hurry up and get to the 3rd and 4th and 5th, but at least your first one's not this one. Sometimes if this one's like your first one, that kind of sucks. Especially if it's like a 6-star. Ultimate squat on me, improved. While ultimate is active, entire team gains 10% attack. So this character, it's like once you get up here, it gets really heavy on the team buffing. This is a self buff, but this is the team buff. Then you got here, just ult, you could spam your ult a little bit. Especially this one's really good on her, since your ult is literally meant to make your whole team just do more damage because they can spam skills more often. And then your final dupe is staying in the zone, improved. Even when the ultimate squad on me ends, the link buff will then persist for an extra 5 seconds. So that helps a lot more too. And yeah, this character definitely comes alive when you get your 2 passives. but definitely this one. But this one also, because if you get to 50% buff of SP recovery, I mean, literally you pop your combo skill, and you literally are doing probably 2 skills back to back. So, and the finale character I think is if you end up getting her, because she's a 5-star, so it's obviously not guaranteed since there's like 8 5-stars or something like that. But the Avi Wena I think is a really solid 5-star. I have Japan, so I think if you have Japan, it's like if you have Japan, you could use them, but I think because the main character is actually insanely strong, I don't think you need him.
What a beautiful
the Alesh guy is a really strong like ice character. I haven't truly gotten to use him, but I think you're using him on like an ice and physical team for sure. That is for surely you're gonna have to find a mixture of team ready or good enough to do that.
To discuss.
But yeah, Avi Wena is like like a premium electric DPS. I think there's a 6-star that's better than her, but for now, like all I have is her as like a premium electric DPS. Other than I guess this girl right here. But yeah, she's a lot of comboing. So if you guys want like a lot more to do instead of just like holding left click once in a while hitting an ability, she's like 1, 2, 3. You know, combo, like when a controlled operator performs a final strike on a target with active fiction or electrification. So if you do the combo trial, it's like you use her skill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 final hit combo ultimate, pop your skill, and your skill each one like sends out these thunder lances. These are normal thunder lances. The thunder lances EXs, which do more damage on the way back in, and then when you pull them back in with this skill, they just do insane damage. So yeah, she's a lot of comboing, and then she also final shock improved. There's a talent also applies 6% electric susceptibility for 10 seconds to the enemies if it hits, and I think it's just your ultimate, so it's one big hit. Obviously, I don't know if you're maybe later on with when people are maxed out and you can get a lot of SP recovery, maybe she'll be able to spam her ult a little bit more often, but. After a thrown or returning Thunder Lance or Thunder EX hits the enemy, she gains 3 ultimate energy, so that also helps, I guess, to spam more hits out. And then her dupes, it's like ultimate energy, you just want to spam things out. Thunder Lance and Thunder Lance EX duration, which is actually sick because sometimes you want to build up as many as possible before you even pop them in, because like your battle skill is kind of useless without those out. Thunderlance final shock improved final energy cost 15%. It's I mean every character has that one. When returning Thunderlance or Thunderlance EX hits on an electric susceptible enemy, damage multiplier increased to 1.15 times the original. So I get 15% damage boost, and that's after all the damage calculations. I wish I had that one, to be honest, but yeah, that one paired with her passive. Ends up becoming really strong, and if you have another character that also applies, so yeah, usually you apply the ult, and then when you summon them back in, they're susceptible, so they'll end up taking more damage, and since they're susceptible, they also take more damage. So yeah, this is another solid character. So that's pretty much all the characters that I deemed are like insanely solid for you to start off with. I mean, like other characters like you can use, like she's really solid on a bunch of teams. She's a really good ice, you get her for free, and she's a solid ice character to kind of get your ice related things done. The Wolfguard guy is actually really cool, but I think you kind of need his talents and some of his dupes to learn to be really good.
Strong team.
Empty wallet.
I think there's a Lich guy. I haven't really gotten to try him, so I don't want to really be speaking of too much, but I feel like he could be really good. He just needs like a weird team. The Pan is another good physical attacker, so if you want to use him instead of the main character, go ahead.
Need defensive cover?
I mean, this guy I haven't gotten to try all yet, to be honest. I don't want to really speak on him, but he's another character that he applies weaken and he applies physical debuffs. Florite is the only nature character I have, and I think there's only like one other nature character in the game, which is the healer. I'm not sure if there's a 5-star one. I haven't really seen it, but. And then Estella is the other ice character. For now. And she's a 4-star, really easy to max out as well. Yeah.
Originium will carve a path.
If you want the ice team, you could do like her, or you could go her plus Alesh.
What a beautiful day. Originium will carve a path.
But yeah, I'm gonna go. I was finally say main character.
Prepped and ready to
Thorlika,
go. Am I looking all right
Aviwena, Antal,
Come on,
and
let me do
Akakuri.
something for Enfield.
All those characters I feel like are solid like starts if you get them. Just make teams around them. And then any other character in the game, obviously, is still good, but these are like easier characters to get in the game that you could just go crazy with. So I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed that. Peace.